Hey everybody, and welcome back to my 2025 Halloween movie marathon. New week, new background. Oh god, this is so spooky, scary skeletons and shivers down my spine. Hope I get copyright striked for that ancient song. Anyway, as per usual, watched a movie, watched a Godzilla movie. Might have a bonus for you again. So let's just dive right into it. First up, watched The Shining, which is the first movie I've already seen before, but you know, hanging out with my girlfriend, and she's just like, I haven't seen that, and I think this is an excellent horror movie. Saw it probably way too young, but honestly, thanks to that, every single time I've watched it, there's more and more that like get revealed to me about the movie. But yeah, The Shining is really good. It's just about the Overlook Hotel. Jack Torrance, Jack Nicholson, is writing a novel, and he's a really bad dad. The more I think about it, the more I think he's just a really bad dad. And Shelley Duvall is just an extremely passive and kind wife who doesn't deserve the shit she goes through. And they got like a basically kind of telepathic son. He's got the Shining. And yeah, so they go to this hotel that happens to be haunted, and it also drives the husband insane. And there's some really, really great moments of Jack Nicholson. Yeah, that's his name, right? I think so. I'm pretty sure he's the Joker. And just scenes of him like losing his mind is very entertaining. Seeing him talk to nobody, thinking he's talking to a barkeep, and like getting drunk when he's not, and just some of his lines when he's threatening his wife, obviously horrible, but like extremely entertaining stuff. And then, you know, red rum, come play with us, play with us forever, Danny. Really good movie. I don't really want to get into like details. Everybody should watch The Shining. I understand that Stephen King doesn't like the movie, but that's just because he sees himself as Jack Torrance. So he doesn't like the way that Jack Torrance is portrayed in this movie. That's just my headcanon, at least. Sorry if you hear my cat screaming. He's not allowed in the studio, but he keeps trying to get in anyway. Okay. So after The Shining, ended up watching Mothra. This is the second movie, kind of Godzilla-y, that doesn't actually have Godzilla in it. But Mothra, if you know anything about Godzilla, is a really big part of the Godzilla mythos. And this is another movie that is fine, but it suffers all the same problems. Too slow, focuses on people too much. Basically, these dudes end up on this radioactive island, and somehow they survived. And everyone's like, whoa, how'd you guys survive? And then they met some like, I think they're just called fairies. But yeah, there's like a whole population on this island that they didn't know was there. I think they're little people. At least at one point they're small. I assume they stay small. I don't know, which is weird because they hang out with Mothra, who's gigantic. So I don't know how that works, but whatever. And then there's all kinds of, you know, hullabaloo about, oh, this island's radioactive. Oh, there's people living on this island. And then suddenly Mothra shows up trying to get those people back. And first she shows up as a big larva, and that's pretty entertaining. And then eventually, after they keep shooting at her, she makes a big cocoon around herself and then emerges as Mothra proper. And yeah, Mothra's just a big ass moth who just wants to hang out with her friends and be like, don't kidnap my friends, bro. We belong on, I think the place was called Infant Island. There's like a subplot about some like fake version of the USSR mixed with America called like Rosaliska or something like that. I don't know. I didn't really care about all that, but yeah, they're like trying to get weapons or power or some shit out of this. I don't know. Anyway, so they're blasting the shit out of Mothra, and then eventually some of them figure out, hey, we can use the church bells and the symbol, and we'll paint it on the ground. We'll summon Mothra, and we'll just give back her friends. So I think it's really funny because at the end of the movie, they're shooting the fuck out of Mothra, and then they just do this big prayer, and then Mothra comes down, gakes them, and they're just like, thanks, Mothra. You're all right. And just wave her goodbye. And it's like, you guys were just shooting the crap out of her, but whatever. So yeah, unlike Rodan, you know, Mothra lives, so that's good. The moth doesn't die. On you can check that website. Does the moth die? That's a reference to, there's a website where you can check if dogs die in a movie because some people are really sensitive to that, which I get, but personally, it's like, does it serve the plot? Kill the moth. And then yeah, bonus round. Speaking of dogs, I read this comic called Stray Dogs. Now, this doesn't look like much of a horror comic, but it very much is. It's drawn like a Disney cartoon, so you get all like this cute, fuzzy feelings. But basically, this dog right here on the cover gets rescued by this guy, and there's like 12 other dogs, and they're like, hey, new dog, hey, what's up, man? And the comic opens and kind of centers on the fact that dogs apparently have like their short-term memory is not very good, so they keep forgetting things. But the first night that she's there, she's all nervous, and the guy like puts a scarf around her to like comfort her and warm her up, and she's like, wait a second, I remember what happened, because she smells it and it brings her back, and she remembers that guy killing her owner. And then she's like, yo, I think something's wrong. This guy killed my owner. And all the dogs are like, no way. But then as they like dig around a little bit, they find more and more little bits from other dogs' previous owners, and they slowly start to remember, wait a second, I do remember my owner before this guy, and I do remember him killing. Oh my God, he's a murderer. We got to get out of here. And yeah, it's a pretty intense story. There's a extremely sweet Dalmatian pup who was owned by like a fire station, and he has an extremely sad end. I feel bad for that boy, Victor. Good boy, Victor. Very good boy. And yeah, it ends well. So it ends pretty happily for the most part. A couple dogs don't make it, but you know, it's a horror movie, a horror comic about dogs. So you know, don't read this if you're like too sensitive to that. I won't blame you. But if you are down to cry, it's a really good time. And I like stuff that you know, draws out big emotions, so I'm a big fan of that. Also, there was a 2-issue miniseries after called Dog Days that basically just fills in mini stories before, during, and after the like her being there. And my favorite part is after he gets caught, and so his house is like shut down, and like people spray painted like murder on his house and stuff. And the people from the fire station, they go back to the Dalmatians thing, and some of the firefighters are just like, man, this job's tough as hell, we can't stop all these fires. And the Dalmatians, they're trying to cheer him up, and the direct owner is like, hey, he's just trying to be friendly, and he's like, I'm not in the mood for this right now. And of course that lady is one of the victims. And in this one, after they find out who the murderer was and that she was a victim of him, the firefighters go there after there's a huge memorial, and in the middle of the night they just burn his house down. And I was like, holy shit, that is I mean, that's not good for firefighters to do, but it's like story-wise extremely fulfilling to read that, because that man was a bastard. But anyway, let's get out of this and go back to the Bone Zone real quick. That'll do it. Sorry this one ran a little longer than the others, but you know, still under 10 minutes. It's fine. You probably have a couple minutes if you care enough to listen to this nonsense. But yeah, happy Halloween, everybody. Keep it spooky, keep it scary, keep it skeleton-y, and most of all, stay safe out there.